Okay, then. Here we are. I have no idea why I'm doing this. I was interested in playing around with the scheduling a stream feature and setting up a thumbnail in advance. I had no real idea for a video this weekend, so I'm working anyway. So I just thought, what the hell? Let's go live. I don't see in StreamYard anywhere a place to see if there's anybody actually in the thing. We'll assume that there are not any people in the thing. What I had hoped to do, I set up Flocus for 40-minute sprints so we could get into a bit of a flow state and get through some real work. I've been working all day already. I've worked every single day this week. Lots of words being written, some progress in the story. I mean, that's always nice when you make some progress in your story after writing the words. But I wanted to continue. So that's why I popped on here tonight. So if I don't know how to make banners or any of that stuff. Well, there's a banner button. Do I press that? What's the banner do? This is an example of a banner. Click on a banner to show it on screen. How about we just create a banner? There we go. I got the mic in front of the keyboard. Say hi as you arrive. Scroll across the bottom ticker. Sure, add banner. And then click on it to show. Say hi as you arrive. Say hi as you arrive. Oh, that's incredibly clever. That might get obnoxious really quickly, but let's go with that. Now back to comments. Okay. Presumably, since it's 5:32 my time, that makes it 4:32 for some people, 2:30. Well, it makes it all sorts of different time zone things, but like maybe because it's Saturday, people are doing their thing and they prefer this to be later, but it's my 10th anniversary today and my wife's. So I can't be on here for too long. I decided to get in here a little bit earlier, so that's what we're doing. Okay, I don't know if there are any lurkers. I have no idea if anybody's in here. I could launch the thing, I suppose, but you know what? It's more fun not to know. If you are in here, leave a comment in chat and I will get back to you. But as far as right this second, let's just get into the first sprint because I got work to do and other things to do. So let's do that. Thanks anyone who shows up eventually or watches this on replay. Let's set up that button. Hey, 40 minutes. Look at me go. I know how to do things. And we'll see you in a bit. Bring, bring. Let's stop or pause or whatever. Skip break. How about that? And click on the thing to bring it back to me. And there you go. Now we're cooking with gas. I'm unmuted. The cam's on. Okay. I noticed that last time I left myself small while the Flocus thing was still up there for like 20 minutes. Apologies. Thank you for putting up with me. How did everybody do? I finally figured out where to look to see how many people are in here. There's 3 apparently. So awesome. Thank you very much for coming by. Jordy, I know, was working on thumbnails. I'll click on the thing so that people can see. Currently editing my thumbnails in Canva instead of writing, but I will catch up with you after the sprint. Excellent. We embrace all art. Larry was here. Larry may still be here. Bottled water was here. Bottled water may still be here. Bottled water is still here. I strictly do not let myself work on Sundays, so I made a meme and watched some YouTube. Awesome. Oh, it's Sunday where you are. It's Saturday evening-ish here. 6:15 at the moment. Larry was editing a video during the sprint, but just finished. Going to write during the next one. Finally get to start Act 2. Awesome. It's exciting. Larry, that last video that you put out on Invincibles, I'd never seen that show. I didn't really know what you were talking about, but it sounded very well researched and your points were well made. So, you know, I didn't have much to contribute comment-wise, but that was great. Happy to click on the things. Happy to hang out in 5 though. Awesome, thanks. And now you're on Act 3. Okay, cool. Wait, what? Bottled water, you made that outline meme. Yeah, found a meme generator. Cool. You guys are having fun. It's great. I myself, I'm in book 4. I have to actually move this thing. Hold on. What are we at? Writing history. I started writing February 1st. I'm at 35,431. For today, I'm at 2,930, which is pretty much what I wrote yesterday. So we're doing okay. I'll slide this back over so I can actually see what we're doing here. I put it on the second monitor. I can't see anything. Fonts are too small. And it changes every time I look at it. Bottled water's making fun of me because I'm stuck outlining. Bottled water, do not make fun of Jordy. Stuck outlining. I would love to outline. I know book 6 will require a ridiculous amount of outlining, and I'll be in the trenches for that. Instead of drafting, never delete anything because I found some old scenes that fit better than the new outline. Gently encouraging you to write. Indeed. Bottled water, is this the slightly spicy fanfic that I remember from like a couple months ago in Alyssa's stream, or is this something else? Larry, you're doing your book 6, I believe. And Act 3. Yes, it is. There we go. Awesome. See, I remember things. Book 5. Okay. I don't remember everything. We're on book 5. Sweet. I'm not like in the perkiest of moods tonight. I'm not down or anything. I've been sitting here working. I don't have a lot of exciting things to say. I don't know if you guys saw Alyssa's pop-up yesterday, the Valentine's stream. She was having fun. That was fun. You should rewatch that if you didn't see it. Which project am I working on? Okay. I'm writing a 30-book sci-fi murder mystery police procedural thing that happens to take place in space, which is why I said the word sci-fi. I'm currently working on book 4. Book 1 was written, sent to like alphas, sent to a dev editor, sent to betas. We've had a lot of feedback on book 1. Book 2 was sent out to a couple of people. It hasn't been to an editor yet. And book 3 hasn't been out of my computer. My wife's been a little bit busy. Normally I send it to her first to get her feedback. And book 4 is what I'm working on right now. Jesus heck. Yeah, it's episodic, murder-wise. So every book's a new murder. Same characters, well, investigator-wise. Can't have the same victims every time. That would be weird. And then for each 6 books, there's sort of a thematic arc that runs through them. The first 6-book chunk is sort of Miles, my head investigator, dealing with his wife's murder at the same time as bringing this new team together and investigating all of these other murders. And someone's kind of torturing him. We'll see why in book 6. The second 6-book chunk, I don't know, there's this thing called the Void. It gets very complicated. I don't want to go into it all just on a stream randomly, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on. And every 6 books will be dealing with a new, like, larger issue in the system. Each book is 65-ish. There's a French glossary at the beginning because my main character swears in French. And so rather than italicize it and never provide an explanation for what it means, I've gone with not italicizing the French and providing a glossary so that you can refer to it. It's in order in which the words appear, and then you'll know all the crazy swear words that we have in Quebec. I feel like my brain works in serials. I could probably just keep writing this fic until my borrowed characters died of old age. Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing. You know, I'm just reusing the characters, putting them in new situations. That's why it might be a little bit easier. I don't have to come up with whole new ideas, whole new worlds and stuff. And as far as I know, people on Kindle Unlimited, people who read murder mysteries, they love binging this stuff. So they're probably going, if they like the first one, they're probably going to want a lot of them from me. So that's why I sort of set this at 30. Hopefully that satisfies everyone. And then we'll go off onto a new series after that. Yeah. It's great. And if you want to make a little bit of money, I know, you know, we do it for the art, but when you self-publish, there are expenses and you have to make your money back, hopefully, at least, like break even in order for this to kind of be worth it. And the more books you have out, the greater chance you have of doing that. I hate when authors just assume you speak a language and never translate it. So thank you for, you're welcome. You're welcome. Quebec swearing is some of the craziest swearing in the world. So it's all religious. Anyway, we won't get into Quebec. What do we got? Sorry, I skipped over something. Tend to do that with Spanish, as if everyone learns Spanish. Yeah, Spanish romantic language, it's similar-ish to French because French is also romantic, and Italian, I believe. They feel very similar when you hear people speak them. I've watched a few Italian shows and I'm like, I kind of know what you're saying. And I've watched some Spanish shows too. I kind of know, but I wouldn't know enough if you like put a sentence in front of me to tell you exactly what it meant. How do I stay in love with such a long-term project? What a wonderful question. And if I had emotions, I'd be able to answer it. I am motivated by the end point for the first 6 books. I really want to write book 6. We'll get to Miles finally discovering who murdered his wife. And then for the next 6-book chunk, I'll be motivated by them solving that next thing that we come across. Book to book, yeah, the murders are very interesting, but it's the character development, all the torture I put them through and stuff that happens book to book that is like the juicier part. So like I'm really invested in that. Plus the way that I'm writing this, I can kind of picture everything. Some people will hate this. There's very little interiority, if any. In fact, I wrote a scene where my main character, Miles, he says why he doesn't have any interiority. And it's because he wants to hear himself say things and make out like he's listening to a suspect during an interview and decide whether it sounds like BS or not. And then he keeps saying things out loud until it no longer sounds like BS, and he decides that that is his new theory and what he'll go with. So he's very much an out loud talker, and there's no interiority because of that. I just don't like writing interiority, to be honest. Working on my work in progress for 2 years, and I am struggling. I would love to ask with what, but I imagine that that's a very long, complicated story on what you're struggling with. I'll be honest, like my books I've always considered them beach reads, and they're very dialogue heavy, which means so they're casual, the speech. I don't have a lot of flowery language. And I remember that video where you rewrote the swan thing, and the language you used was very well constructed, and I imagine took quite a deal of time to think up. So if you're writing a book that matches that in feeling and complexity of language, then I could see it taking 2 years. So you may not be struggling. It might just take that long. I don't know. Miley's here. Hello, Miley. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, there's crazy swearing throughout the world. I've seen a few websites where it's like common expressions and like what different languages use as an equivalent for that, and it's just crazy stuff about frogs and I don't know off the top of my head. Common to learn Japanese in school. This is going back, but I seem to remember that people from Japan are the largest tourists to Australia. So maybe that's why, to entice tourists. I don't know. Hello, my friends. I might not get to writing with y'all because I have so many dishes. Dishes are a thing, but I shall hang. Sweet. Yeah. A lot of people do. So I've heard. I mean, the advice going around is write garbage until you get to the end and then go back and and make everything pretty. I say do whatever feels right for you. As long as you're still motivated to make it through to the end of the book, then do whatever. If you feel like you want to give up on the book because the language is so difficult, then yeah, write garbage until you get to the end of the book and then go back and do that. I'm not an advice channel. I'm pretty much everybody do whatever makes you happy channel. My Jordy, please, I'm begging you to do some exercise to help me with this. Stories deserve to be written. They do. This one thing was great. I think the options that my dad had in Senegal were Latin, German, Spanish, and English. And you ended up taking at least two. That's good. Multilingual people, from what I heard, they think differently. Not better or worse, just differently. I was in French immersion, pretty well French all the way up until grade 12 was like 90% of the curriculum. And we sort of learned English on the side, but then, we spoke English at home. And then I didn't use French for 20 years because I was living in Ontario, Canada. It's mostly English. And then I only just a few years ago moved to Quebec, and I'm trying to remember 20 years ago. Well, more than that now. Anyway, whatever. I'm not that great at French, but I'm making my main character speak it. Yeah. You got huge support here, Jordy. I'm gonna sing. I know the thumbnail. I had a song stuck in my head. Quack, 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 quack. I don't actually know the lyrics or who sings it. Rihanna, maybe? I don't know. I'm not up with all the things. But that thing got stuck in my head. And Arabic, which is supposed to be very poetic. 6, yeah. Awesome. Okay, we need like a bladder break. So let's go for another 40-minute sprint. I hope everyone is able to get some sort of work done, or maybe some dishes, and if anyone else shows up, say hi to them, be welcoming. I don't know that any of my non-writer friends will actually show up for a live stream, but you never know. Okay, I have to press buttons. Kaboom! And see you in 40 minutes. Mwah. Unmute, bring face back up. There we go. Well, hello. 40 minutes has elapsed. How did everyone do? I got a decent amount accomplished, except I made some trouble for myself by having too many people whose names start with M, and they all ended up in the same room. You know, not the greatest, which is why sometimes I name people by their rank instead in order to avoid that. We scrolled YouTube Shorts. Awesome. It's cool. Yeah, I know, but they weren't real characters. They were supposed to be side characters, and I just decided to interview them again, and now we got, Miles and Marjorie and Molly and Miguel. I mean, their names don't sound the same, but there's a lot of M's. So then we have to say, like, the deputy said to her IIC, I think Miguel should blah, 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 or something like that. There's ways around it. Cody is definitely a celebrity. I'm not sure if he's still here. Cody, are you still here? They got promoted. Well, Marjorie got promoted to Deputy IIC. Nobody really liked Tanner in book 1 or 2, so I brought in Marjorie and promoted her. And I felt it was better to have 2 females and 2 males instead of it being so, sausage dominant. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, it's not like I had this thing scheduled for too long. Again, I was playing around with the scheduling feature and trying to have an actual thumbnail for this, and I set it for like 20 minutes later at 5:30 my time. So that's what we ended up doing. Did anyone have any accomplishments that they wanted to share so that it's not just me? I mean, if you did dishes or you scrolled, yeah, YouTube Shorts. Okay, gotcha. Which is an accomplishment. I have trouble watching them. It's a little too short for me to fully appreciate what's being said. The music always ends up being 2 or 3 times louder than any other YouTube video, and it's a bit jarring. It feels like an ad. Miley's almost done with 1 sink full of dishes. Awesome. I have a dishwasher, but we still always seem to have a sink full of dishes. Nobody wants to empty the damn thing, is the thing. And there's some people I know that have dishwashers and they never use them. They prefer hand washing dishes, and they keep like dry goods in the dishwasher if their apartment or house came with one. They got like cereal and chips and stuff in there. It's fascinating to see. Did some plotting and made my thumbnail for tomorrow's video. Awesome. It's exciting times. There's so many videos that come out all the time. It's hard to keep up, but I appreciate every single one of them. I always learn a little bit from each one, and it's great to see how everyone is doing things, but they're all doing them in slightly different ways. I enjoy that. There you go. See, I was looking for tutorials, and I kept being taken in by the lure of short videos, and suddenly, you won't believe that despite all of this, the video only got 1 like, and then you're trapped. Yeah. They are very alluring, like all the whatever little chocolate bars and doodads they have by the checkout counter. I don't actually buy them, but they're enticing. Dishwasher changed my life. I moved to a place without one. Buying one immediately. Yeah. Ours was spraying water all over the floor a few days ago, and I had to rip the stupid thing out and redo all of the connections, and I had to use special gloves because they're like, you have to hand tighten this thing. It's, it's covered in water. And slipping, so I had to get like special grippy rubber gloves to tighten this stupid thing by hand. And like, is it my hand or is it someone else's hand? How tight do you want it? Anyway, it doesn't seem to be leaking anymore. So that's my story about the dishwasher. It dripped all the way down into the basement. The friggin' tiles were drooping and stuff. Just awful. Why is your back in agony? Oh, hold on. I skipped one, or it like scrolled past me. Get my soul for dishwashing. Disabled body gets ravaged when I have to do dishes and host too many dinners. It's nice that you get to host dinners. My mother had an issue with her back, and she would do the dishes when I was very young and couldn't possibly contribute to the family. She could only do it for a little bit, and then she'd have to sit for hours. I'm sorry that your back's in agony, Miley. Let's exact, contemplate. Don't allow myself to own more than 2 pans and stuff. I had, at one point in my life, I had 2 plates, no glasses, just a mug. I'd use that mug for everything. Like 1 fork, 1 spoon, 1 knife, and like 1 pot. And I just do everything with that. And it worked out, and it was easy to wash. Still end up with a sink full of dishes somehow. Okay. I can't really be silent. I have to keep talking and talking and talking. Wash clothes by hand. You could. We had a hand, not really a hand washer, but one of those old ones where you'd wash it in the tub and then you'd feed it through the press on top. It was actually for horse blankets, but if the washer and dryer broke down, you'd end up using that thing. World building spiral. Yeah, Cody was doing up like this cool map with all these islands for the fracture, and I probably shouldn't talk about it because you'll make a video and reveal it to people, but it was pretty neat to see that. Fantasy. Finish recording a clip for tomorrow's vlog. That's awesome. It's okay. Yes. $15 to do laundry. Yeah. I lived someplace once, and even in the snow, you had to like drag it down the street. It was like a 20-minute walk and then pay a ridiculous amount to have your washing done. Wasn't a fan of that. It takes forever to get totally settled in life. Well, it took me for friggin' ever. You guys all seem to have houses. I don't know how you do that. You live on your own. I lived with my parents for forever, and then finally moved out into an apartment. And then it wasn't until like 4 years ago that I got a house. 4 years ago, and I'm a stupid old man. These people in some of these videos, they're like, look at my 2-floor or 2-story house and everything. I don't know how you do it. Don't know how you do it. You must live in less expensive areas than me, or make more money than I ever made. Good for you. Rock on. Well, I don't mean all of you have houses, but like, you look at Alyssa in the books and she's got like this house, and I was like, you're 24, 25. How the hell are you doing this? I didn't have any of this. She lives on her own. I didn't have any of this money. Anyway, I mean, it might be a special story or something that maybe we don't want to get into. I don't know, but I do see a lot of people seem to have some pretty nice places, or they decorate their apartments so well that they look like homes, and I'm just being tricked. It's the trick of social media. Good. None of us have houses. Okay, well, sorry, Miley. I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, I didn't either. So don't feel alone. We had cockroaches when a guy moved into an apartment on floor 7, and then he sued the building because the building had cockroaches. It's like, you're the one that brought them, you jerk. We didn't have cockroaches before. We had emperor ants. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Moldy, yeah. There's that. We start somewhere. Good. It's the cheapest thing ever, unless they start charging you ridiculous amounts of rent. I honestly, how long did I live at home for? It was a long time. I might have been 27. Anyway, whatever. They were lovely people to let me stay there as long as they did. Okay. Shazam. I don't know how Alyssa's so rich, but good for her. Possibly. We live in a house, but we rent. We got locked into that lower rent before COVID times. Good. Take advantage of any lower costs that you can. Mon jux. You don't know what that means. It's whatever. It's a bastardization of mon Dieu, which is French for my God. All my grandma's old stuff, so it looks like I'm an adult. It's great. I like reading through this. One of the many reasons I could never start a YouTube channel is because I live in such a shithole. Only recently got a bed frame. It's cheap, so it's already having issues. Ideally, you wouldn't put a mattress or the, what's it called, box spring directly on the floor, because you can get mold that way. So maybe even with a crappy bed frame, it's better than having things on the floor, depending on the humidity in your climate, which is Australia. I don't know if you guys are high humidity or not. Well, I mean, it's a huge continent. I don't know. It's probably different everywhere. The hell do I know about geography? Okay. I'm glad you feel safe. I didn't move out of home for uni at 17. It's crazy talking to my friends the same age, live with their parents, and pay no rent. So yeah. That's what I was doing. I was like, no, I'm not going to give you a list of everywhere I worked, but I worked a lot for not very much money. And then I went back to school and got a new job where I worked even more for even less money. And I always told my parents, like, look, I'll move out as soon as I can fathom paying rent. We didn't live in Toronto. We were north, but the idea was a lot of my work was in Toronto, and I was like, I can't afford these prices. And then, you need a roommate or a girlfriend who's willing to go halvesies. And I ended up eventually getting a girlfriend who wanted to move in together. And so we were able to make rent that way. How long am I I don't know. Like, whatever. Actually, I say whatever. That's not true. It's 7/27 where I am, and it's my 10th anniversary today. So I'm probably done. I'm going to go build a fire. We're going to do up some dinner and have some, like couch snuggly time as people do when they've been together for 10 years. So that's what I'm doing. Thanks everyone for all the sprints. I won't say bye just yet. I'll read a couple more things. Okay, yeah, Toronto was awful. Well, thank you very much. Yes, it's been 10 years. Thank you. Yay. Yeah, I am precious, you know. Thank you, sir. So yeah, I wanted to sneak in and do this live stream and get some work done. Well, my wife was actually running the kids around. I have 3 stepchildren, so she was running them to and fro. You know, they always want to be out partying and whatever. So Cody and Clark's 4-year anniversary is on Tuesday. Congratulations. 4 years is sweet. And you're getting married very soon. So you'll have to forget about that anniversary and start celebrating a new anniversary. How do people do that? Do they celebrate 2 different anniversaries? Like the started dating anniversary and the marriage one? We're actually just celebrating the dating one. We're in a common law relationship. We've been in a common law relationship for quite a while. Yes, congrats to Cody and Clark. Yeah, Valentine's anniversaries. She didn't want to go out with me on the 14th because she thought it was too commercial. So we ended up waiting until the 15th to go out on a date. So that's what we celebrate, the first date. Yeah, we haven't been in a common law relationship for 10 years, but we've been together for 10 years. So that's what we do. Lovely, lovely. Yeah. Oh yeah, it'd be awesome. If I could afford to go out and eat, I would totally do that. I don't even know what we're having. I'm gonna have to come up with that. I know there's a lot of stuff I got out to defrost. I think the main meal will be tomorrow when all the kids are actually back and we can do a raclette, which may be a term you've never heard of because I'd never heard of it until I moved to Quebec. It's a hot plate with a burner underneath and then space for these little trays. You cook your meat or whatever, veggies, potatoes, whatever, on top on the hot plate. And then you put them into this little container thing with some cheese and some sauce and put it under the burner in the same unit. And then wait till the cheese bubbles up. And then you take that and you dump it on your plate and you eat it with like a little toasted baguette or however you want to eat it. So it's raclette. I'll work that into one of my books one of these days. I am going to have to go, though. That's okay. It's all good. I like to cook. I like to see other people eat. I don't eat much myself. Good character portrait generator. Larry, you had something that you mentioned once that you used for your character sheets. What was that site called? If Larry's still here, I don't recall what the thing was. I think I took a screen capture when he said it, so Cody, I'll text you or something. Oh, there it is. Art Breeder. Sorry, I gotta click on the things. Yeah. Okay, everyone. I gotta go. I gotta do a couple things. So thank you very much for hanging out with me in the stream. I hope people got a little bit of stuff done, and I might schedule another one for some time, but I kind of have to wait till everyone else fills in their schedules so that I sort of fill in the gaps, because I can't compete with the likes of Cody or Jordy or Brielle or Alyssa or, you know, any of the big ones. I gotta sneak in where I can. So thanks very much. Feel free to continue the conversation in the chat for a tiny bit after I end this. No, I know it's not a competition. I'm just kidding, but you know, I don't want to compete. I'll go in the gaps. Hey, thanks, Larry. Oh, I gotta like not click on things. Hold on. Okay, get rid of that thing. Okay. 2 streams open. Think about hey. Okay, great. Thanks everyone. Have a good night. Bye.